Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News with Kim and Lisa. Last night, we were treated to the premiere of season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I have not been this excited for a season in a very long time. And let's just say it delivered.
Okay, all I can say is Dorit. Dorit Kemsley is bringing it this first episode. She has shown up to work and she is the name on everyone's lips right now.
I mean, the cigarette on everyone's lips.
Totally.
Like her driving through that canyon, just taking a rip of that cigarette was probably one of the most iconic moments in Housewives history. I think the internet has proven that. And I mean, she just continued to deliver all episode long. I cannot wait to talk about everything going on with her and PK, her and Kyle, this surrealism party. I mean, this was a 10 out of 10 premiere, and we're going to break it all down. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any more Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recaps to come.
All right, so we start off the episode. Basically, the first scene is Sutton going to Jennifer Tilly's house, which I thought was kind of telling that they really are, banking on Sutton as a housewife. Also, as they should be. She has proven to be an outstanding member of this franchise. But I did think it was a little odd that the first opening scene was her going to Jennifer Tilly's house and not Jennifer going to her house or, it being at a main cast member's. However, we saw that she was like down the street from Kathy Hilton because we got a little honk honk, hi Kathy, as she was driving. And she started talking about Spain again. And at first I was confused because I was thinking, are we going back to Spain? Like, surely we didn't have a cast trip to Spain last year and then they're going to do another one this year. We get the flashback to Merce and the purse. And she brings up Merce Cunningham again. And I'm like, wait, we've already done this. So, but anyway, then she starts saying, Salvador Dali is a famous painter and he's from Spain. And he's all about surrealism and he led the surrealism movement. So I want to have a surrealism event. So I feel like that was a really weird, long-winded way, Dorit Kemsley way of tying in this party. Like, just say you want to throw a surrealism party. But she does share a little bit about how she's not on good terms with Kyle at the moment, but she kind of misses her and she realizes she was not great of a friend to her. And mainly she just wants to send her cute things that she finds online while she's shopping.
I get it. I am glad to see kind of Sutton and Kyle coming back together after last season. I think Sutton was, had a lot of amazing moments last season. So I think starting this season with her makes sense. I love the addition of Jennifer Tilly. We've already seen her, I think, in the last 2 seasons kind of as a, unofficial friend of. But the fact that she is officially a friend of this season makes a lot of sense. It's a very natural connection. I'm excited to see what she brings. So, yeah, I kind of loved.
Did you spot the Chucky doll?
I did not. Does she have a Chucky doll?
Yes, and they showed it in the trailer, but they didn't zero in on it in the episode. It was in the living room, just on one of her nice chairs. As a little Easter egg.
As it should be. I mean, she's iconic. She has so much personality. I am ready to she hasn't really gotten into the drama before. So I'm kind of ready to see how she interacts with the rest of the group. So it's going to be really interesting. But let's jump to where the real episode begins. And that's when Erica and Dorit meet at the Pacific Design Center, which is our, old office was in that building.
Yeah.
We were there that day. Would have been iconic. But Erica, she's using this as an excuse to say that she's redecorating her home. But can we be real for a moment? She cannot, there's no way she can afford anything in that showroom for her home. Am I right?
Okay, well, when I saw her going to shop there, I was like, oh, okay. She's the one person who I've ever seen in those showrooms. Literally every time you walk by, There are these beautiful showrooms, not a single soul in them. I don't even see people working there. So, but I thought the same thing. This shit is expensive. I I don't know. I guess she has saved up. But yeah, she basically, then Dorit comes in. And I have to say, they are doing a lot of these slow-mo car exits, a la Selling Sunset, a la the Kardashians on Hulu. And there's like, they must have hired a new cinematographer because they are all peppered throughout this entire episode. And it's giving sexy. It's giving Beverly Hills, darling.
It's giving high budget. I mean, honestly, it's giving high budget. Beverly Hills has always been high budget. This season is no exception. And I mean, it's also giving drama because Dorit literally does not waste any time. This is her. I mean, we saw the scene of her kissing her dog on the lips in her backyard, right? But this first scene is basically within minutes of meeting Erica. She is dropping bomb after bomb after bomb. But kind of seems like Erica already knew this news because she sits Erica down and she's like, I have news. PK and I have agreed to separate. And Erica's face, I mean, it is, it evolves as you watch it. It's like initial shock, but then she kind of starts to smile and have this little like, I don't know. It was very odd. It did not seem genuine. I definitely think that Erica knew what was going on, but it made me laugh.
Yeah, we went on a ride. We went on a full journey with her face in those 3 seconds that she reacted. She started off shocked, then, like you said, it was almost this little like, I fucking knew it, like hint of a smile before she realized. Yeah, before she realized I shouldn't be smiling at this moment, covered up those teeth, and then I'm going to cry.
Like what?
Yeah. So, and all of our first thought, right, is why is Dorit confiding in Erica? Erica's the first person for her to tell on this cast. That says a lot because Erica is the one, as we all remember, who at BravoCon last year said, or was it 2 years ago now? I don't know. Said, I think it's going to be Dorit and PK who are the next couple headed to Splitsville, and does her iconic flip of the hair, gets back down.
I'm a showman.
Exactly. That is where this line came from. I'm a showman. And so it is very strange that this is the universe we're in now where, Dorit is confiding in her and sharing this with her. But Dorit is not mincing words. She is not holding back. She says PK was pouring alcohol on his issues and it was very toxic. They were having major fights that are not healthy in front of the kids. And they decided they need to take space. So right out the gate, we are just opening up. She's not trying to hide anything. And I think she's treating this very differently than Kyle did last year with Mo. I think that she took notes from everyone's reaction to how Kyle treated the Mauricio thing last year, where she kind of kept her cards close to her chest and everyone badgered her and said, you're not being honest, you're not being open. I think Dorit's like, fuck it. I'm going the opposite way and I'm just going to let it all out there. And I fucking love it.
I fucking love it. I'm glad you brought this up though, because yes, the consensus is that Dorit is clocked the fuck in. She is delivering. However, it was reported that she was on the chopping block last season. She's been called boring, that she hasn't brought a lot to the show, that she didn't have a storyline, that, all of these things that maybe would put her job in jeopardy. Do you think that she made a conscious decision to be like, look, okay, I'm going to bring it. I'm not going to hold back? Because the Dorit, we know, yes, she gets involved in the drama, but she's never really been super aggressive towards other people. She's never been one to really stir the pot or really get fired up about things. but this season seems different. It seems like we're seeing a different Dorit. So either she has snapped or she's made a conscious, strategic decision to act this way. What do you think?
I don't know. It's a tough call. It could be a little bit of both. I personally think she might have snapped, but in a good way.
Yeah, I mean,
You know, you really start living once you stop giving so many fucks. So have at it, girl.
yeah, none, not one, 000. Dorit is done. She does not give any fucks. And she could take a cue from Erica. We all could. And I mean, it's working for her. So let's shift over to Kyle. We get an update from her. Mauricio has moved out. Alexia has moved out. She's kind of like almost an empty nester. She still has Portia around, but it's really quiet. Erica arrives, and Dorit has told Erica to not tell Kyle about the split. So Erica is kind of, playing middleman here. And of course, Dorit still gets brought up, though. They talk about the text from last reunion that Kyle did not know that Dorit shared until she watched the reunion. So we talked about this last season. I actually had to go back and rewatch the video that I made about the text to read the text to remember what it was about. I can link that here if you guys want to watch it again. But, it's basically saying Kyle is trying to ask Dorit if they can try to solve whatever issues they have before the reunion. If you want to talk before we film, like, let's get together, let's talk. I don't really want to bring it up at the reunion. She says that things were said off camera. She doesn't say what those were. And so if we're thinking about it, Kyle was kind of trying to silence Dorit and keep her from bringing up some of the things that she was really upset about. And I guess it all ties back to the reunion before with Kathy Hilton when Dorit was kind of standing up for Kathy and not for Kyle. It's like this kind of long awaited kind of, like you said, like maybe Dorit just snapped. She reached like a boiling point where so many things have kind of piled up over the years, and she's just kind of had it with Kyle. So that kind of is what it seems happened. But then, of course, the breaking point was the Amazon Live when Kyle basically said they were never really friends, which is definitely a bitchy thing to say.
Totally a bitchy thing to say. And it didn't seem true. Like, they used to be really close. Their families were close. Like, you could tell when they were in scenes together that they had this little shorthand that only good friends have. So I don't know why Kyle was going there, but okay. And I'm curious to hear sort of whose side you're on here, because Kyle's main points of annoyance with Dorit are 2 reunions ago when she interjected once between Kyle and Kathy and said, I think Kathy just wants you to take a little accountability. Kyle said, Dorit, back off. She said, okay, no problem. Then she said there was something at BravoCon where rank the Richards sisters, and it was this weird moment where it seemed like Kyle had spilled something on her. So she was like joking, oh, well, Kyle's obviously last, haha, and Kathy's first. And Kyle took that to heart. And then the text thing, which I understand the text thing, that would irritate me too. But in all of this, I feel like Kyle is making a bigger deal out of it than it really was. So I'm sort of standing with Dorit on this. Where are you at?
I agree. It's definitely not black and white for me either. I feel like, that text message was a little bit manipulative. But other than that, I don't really see how Kyle can be a master manipulator. Like, I don't know. Please explain to me how Kyle is manipulating Dorit other than that text. But then also,
no, you're right. I think, yeah.
I don't know. It's like, someone please drop a comment and tell me, because it's not like you said, it's the punishment is not fitting the crime per se. But I also feel for Dorit. I feel like Kyle has kind of taken jabs. And I feel like if one of my best friends said that we weren't really friends, like, to everybody on earth, I would also be upset by that. And I just wouldn't want to take it either. So it's not black and white for me. I'm definitely leaning towards more Dorit, but we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I need more information.
Yeah, for sure. So then we get the, the day and time. So something important is going to happen when that day and time comes up on the screen. We hear about Dorit and PK announcing their separation. Of course, in this long-winded, very Dorit-coded Instagram message.
Of course, Garcelle kind of sees that.
Yeah, of course, Garcelle's going to call that out. Exactly. And it's all like this voiceover while we see Dorit driving through the canyon, just sparking a cigarette. And it's like, oh, man, shit's going down.
Once again, props to the editors, because that was just like a random shot, right? But the way that they put it in with the music, with the headlines, with all of the other wives, seeing this shocking news on their phone, and Dorit is just taking a drag, driving down the canyon to Kathy Hilton's house. On Watch What Happens Live, she says that she was being chased by the paparazzi. Like, it was everything. That image will be iconic for the rest of time. I love it. And she's going to confide in Kathy, of all people, the day this news drops. So this is a duo I did not see coming, but I am completely here for. You guys know we love Queen Kathy Hilton, and she delivered right off the bat with her first scene on this season.
Yeah, I mean, Dorit walks in her house. Hello, Kathy. Kathy wanders upstairs, and we see Kathy in full glam, but with eye patches, with this ginormous lip patch, drinking through a stainless steel straw. Just, oh, hi, honey.
And don't forget the 2 IVs. She's got 2 IVs.
The 2 IVs, yes.
And I need to know what's in those IVs. Kathy, please tell us what's in the IVs, because I need it. I need some of those.
Whatever you're getting, we want it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just, one thing about Kathy, she is going to steal a scene. That's who she is. That's what she does naturally.
This is steal your scene.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think we were all a little surprised that first Dorit went to Erica and then she goes to Kathy, because these are 2 people who she hasn't been like really that close with in the past. But she basically says, the good thing is this isn't out of anger. Like, we're doing this coming from a good place. Now, we're also getting this sort of split screen, but not quite a split screen, where at the same time in quotes, we're seeing Mo and PK meeting. So we're kind of hearing PK's side of the story as Dorit is delivering her side of the story simultaneously.
Which I think is important. But do I want it? Not really. This is the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If they're split up from their husbands, I don't need like a husbands only scene with Mo and PK. I just don't. And I don't know. I guess it gives us context, but I don't know. Maurice's trying to give him advice. We do find out, though, that Kyle, while she did not text Dorit after the news came out, she texted PK.
Yeah.
Now, I think that this move alone is enough to set Dorit off. So maybe I'm even leaning more towards Team Dorit at this point, because no, you don't. If you are best friends with somebody or close friends with somebody and they split up from their husband and you were friends with them both, but you're not really speaking to, your friend anymore, you don't go text the husband.
No,
I think that was a bad move. I think that Dorit has every right to be angry about that.
But what I thought was really interesting is that, so PK said that he's been sober, right? Like, he's on this sobriety journey. And that's when he got clear and realized that this isn't working. And I feel like it's usually the opposite. Like, usually people break up because someone won't get sober. But this time he got sober and was like, yes, we should break up. So to me, it was almost like he needed the alcohol to like tolerate Dorit, was sort of the subtext I was getting. Maybe I'm reading too far into that, but
we're kind of getting two different stories, right? Because Dorit says he was a drunk. We got in so many fights. It was toxic. And then when he got sober, I think this was on Watch What Happens Live, that was when they were the best they've ever been at last year's reunion. Right. So he's saying the opposite. When he got sober, that's when, the cord kind of ripped for him and he was done. So that's kind of interesting to note. So kind of getting two sides of the coin there, but it seems like Dorit at the end of the day, like, would have chosen to work it through instead of, just black and white, we're going to separate all of that. So I don't know. She listed all of the things that PK has done wrong. I mean, bankruptcy, gambling debts, suspected DUI. I mean, she's like stood by his side through all of that. And then he's just ready to kind of kick her to the curb. It's kind of an asshole move.
Yeah, it's not great. And for her to put all those things out there like in one sentence, I was like, oh, she's done. She's done.
She's done. She's done. So let's get to the party though, because a lot happened there as well.
Yeah. Okay. So we are in Sutton's surrealism party. There's just a bunch of wild shit going on. There's like, I don't know, the decor, I don't know what it is. I don't really know what surrealism is, but I guess it's anything goes. And we get Jennifer Jelly showing up as Bjork in, a swan gown. And then we have Sutton in this, what feels to me, mismatched antlers with like this black and pink dress. It was sort of like woodland creature, but then the dress did not have those elements at all. So I was very confused. And then we get Dorit in the satellite dish. So it was really like, I think the dress code is weird. Like that was basically it. Just get weird.
Yeah, but then they said that Dorit didn't do it right, which I thought was so unfair. I thought this
so unfair.
Was amazing. I couldn't tell what was going on, but it appeared that she was actually wearing a beret. And then it was an actual giant disc, like a record or a CD, that she would then place atop the beret. I thought it was chic. I thought she nailed it. Other people didn't feel the same. I don't know. Who was your best dress throughout the party?
You know what? My best dress was Erica. I thought Erica nailed it because when I saw it, I was like, that feels surrealism. She had the eyeball things on the front and the back, this sort of crazy magic eye pattern going on. So she was my favorite. What about you?
I feel like I might have picked Dorit. I don't know. I thought Erica was a close second. They all looked great. We meet Boz. Now, she kind of just makes an entrance. She stole the show, in my opinion. We learn a little bit more about her. She is a corporate America girly. She is like a retired corporate America girly, 25 years, Netflix, Uber, Endeavor. I mean, she's kind of the quintessential like LA girl boss, for lack of a other cooler term. But I love it. Immediately off the bat, her and Dorit kind of, kick it off. And Dorit is just spewing everything that's going on in her life to her. But Boz also has a story. She shares that she also separated from her husband, but then got back together because he had cancer and then he passed away. That was like really, really tough to hear. I'm sure we'll get more into it. But off the bat, first impressions of Boz.
She seems fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I did love what she was wearing as well. It didn't really feel surrealism to me, but she looked amazing. And she seems fun, She seems anyone who can retire at 47. I tip my satellite disc hat to you, ma'am.
Seriously. I mean, she is goals. I keep, outing myself as a millennial because I'm using all of these terms, but I mean, there just is not a better word to describe her. I'm excited to get to know her more. So we'll see where that goes. So we met Boz. She was kind of, getting into it lightly with the ladies. She calls Kathy out a little bit, which I loved. But then Kyle and Erica arrive.
Yeah.
And Garcelle is kind of getting right into it with Kyle. It's like these women haven't seen each other since the reunion. Don't you want to like ease into things a little bit, maybe? But I don't think Garcelle, that's her style.
Yeah. So they basically start talking about she who shall not be named, aka Morgan. And Kyle's like, I'm not using her name on purpose. And we get Garcelle in the confessional, like, I think it's a little too late for that. And she's not wrong. Like, we all know who you're talking about.
She's been on the show.
Right. So I don't know why it's like not okay anymore. Maybe they're not as close as they once were. In fact, I don't think they are. But she basically says, there was so much speculation and she had never questioned her sexuality before. But then because of all the speculation, she started to question it. But then here's where I got confused, because it came out last week and then they talked about it again in the episode last night, that Kyle had a conversation with her daughters surrounding her sexuality, but we never hear what was said. So I am still confused as to what that conversation was, because it could have just been, girls, I know there's a lot of speculation out there that I'm with Morgan. It's not true. I don't like women. I've never been with a woman. Or was it, guys, there's a lot of speculation, and you know what? I am exploring this side of myself, and I'm not going to identify myself or label myself as anything, but I'm going to see where it goes. We never got what the conversation was.
I think it's more the latter, but I think it's exactly what she said in the confessional. Like, she never thought of it like that before, but all of this, scrutiny kind of made her start to question it. So I think that's it. I think that's what she said to her daughters, that I'm questioning things. I'm questioning my sexuality. I don't know if I would go so far as to say she's exploring it or, going down that road.
But that's what I want to know.
Questioning it, thinking twice about it. Yes. And I think Garcelle said it best. Like, does Kyle owe us, what her sexuality is? No. Do we want to know? Yes, we all want to know. Does she owe that to us in any way? No. But at this point, we all want to know. And I think that is a perfect way to say it. We don't need it from her, but we want it from her.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, okay, the episode culminates in Dorit and Kyle, of course. Dorit comes over to the group, but before her and Kyle get into it, we get this funny moment from Queen Kath. She arrives to the party looking not surreal at all, actually. I love you, Kath, but it was not giving surreal. She was wearing, kind of a very loose, flowy dress with a tiara. What were your thoughts on that?
No, honestly, my thought was, Paris is definitely her daughter, because she looked like Paris. Like, Paris loves leaning into like the princess kind of vibes. And that was Kathy, just sort of like waltzing out in her tiara and her diamonds and her pretty dress and flowing hair, when everyone else was in these kind of get-ups that were very out there. But yeah, she immediately sits down and is like, I'm hot. I'm too hot. And just starts pulling out her extensions. And again, Kathy's going to steal a scene. I don't even think she's trying, but she just naturally does. Bose, I can't remember which one it is, was basically beside herself, because she's like, to pull out your extensions or your weave or a wig like in front of everyone and then just like set it on a chair next to you. She could never.
Zooming in on the chair, the extensions on the chair. I mean, Kathy, like a lot of hard work probably went into that hair. And then immediately she's like, I'm hot. Like I'm like taking off a jacket. She's just gonna rip out her extensions. Kyle has to help her. She's like pulling them so she doesn't pull her hair out. It was amazing. Yeah, sorry if it's Bose or Boz. Sorry, maybe it's Bose. But Kathy is gonna call her boss. She's like, "Hey, boss,"
Yeah.
and she's like, "Actually, it's Boz," and she's like, "No, but you're a boss." So
Yeah.
again, I mean, just the Kathy colloquialisms that we've so very missed are back, and it's making me laugh so hard.
Okay, so we do finally get Dorit and Kyle talking, right? And this is the why the party was so awkward. Everyone was feeling the tension, especially around the table. And so Kyle does open the conversation by saying, "Look, I'm sorry about what's going on with PK." Okay, good move. Good move. You did it, honey. And she says, "I understand you probably felt a certain way about the Amazon Live." And Dorit just is kind of, she's not having it. You know, she is, I'm not going to put up with your shit, Kyle. I am like, I'm not going to be your doormat anymore, and you're not going to be able to manipulate me. Again, I don't know how much manipulation was really going on, but she feels that way. And so she is putting her foot down, and Kyle is kind of taken aback because she wasn't expecting Dorit to be so, I guess, aggressive in this manner. And I just like, I know I've said this before, but seeing housewives fight while they're in costume for a theme party is like one of my joys in life. It is just one of the best tropes. I'll never get tired of it. Like seeing Vicky Gunvalson in like her full on biker getup with like the, you know, the black smeared eyeliner, just like screaming, rah. It never gets old.
It never gets old. I mean, we've got antlers and a satellite dish going at it. Like you can't make this shit up. But Dorit again clocked the fuck in, and Kyle did not see that coming because
Yeah.
again, this hasn't really been how Dorit has acted in the past. She's usually pretty cool, calm, and collected. I think she holds herself to, you know, a certain standard, almost like not quite countess-esque, but you know, she wants to be portrayed as this like put together, very chic, you know, demure, mindful person. But not this season. She is letting that all go, throwing it out the window. She is going after Kyle, and I'm here for it. I mean, I am here. She is finding her voice. It's giving Jennifer Padranti on OC. Once you've had it, you just had it. And you have to call that person out. This is what we need from our housewives. And Dorit fucking delivered. I cannot wait to see what goes down this season. I mean, we're going to see a lot more from her and PK. We're going to get a lot more from Kathy. I think that, of course, Sutton and Garcelle are going to be in the middle of it all. So I can't wait. I'm so excited. We are in for one hell of a season.
We are seated and ready. Yes, I'm so glad Beverly Hills is back. It has always been my favorite, and even when they have a down season, I'm still ready. I'm still there. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having fun.
Yeah, same here. It is superior in absolutely every way, and we will be here every week to cover it all. I mean, I cannot wait. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any more Bravo breaking news. We will also be recapping part 3 of the OC reunion this Friday as we bid farewell to another hell of a season. But thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another Beverly Hills.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.